Our senior correspondent, John Miller, is a former assistant FBI director. He's here along with trial attorney and legal analyst Rikki Kleeman. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, first, Rikki, what do we expect this week?
This week is jury selection, and it's a daunting task. This judge has summoned 675 people in order to narrow down a pool to 40 jurors. From the 40, we're going to wind up with 18, 12 who sit in the box, 6 alternates. This week, this is the beginning of the big show.
John, who and what do we expect to hear from the witness stand?
You are going to hear the legends of, the Boston mob. You're going to be hearing John Martirano, who's a prolific hitman, who, if you've heard him before, it's been on 60 Minutes, and several of these other people who worked in Whitey's crew, and they are going to describe. This is a RICO case, a racketeering, influence, corrupt organization from the great acronym unit of the law book. But that means it was a continuing criminal enterprise, and they're going to prove that this was the machine that Whitey ran. The other thing you're going to hear is you're going to hear the FBI be put on trial. That'll be the defense tack here, which is, hey, Whitey Bulger had permission to operate this racketeering enterprise during that time because he was providing the information to the FBI, and that's going to be where the sparks fly.
So, Rikki, Bulger's facing 32 counts, 19 of them for murder. Is there any chance that he walks away from this, or the drama will be watching this trial?
The drama is watching the trial, and of course, almost anyone would say that the chances of his walking away are slim indeed. Even if he does walk away, he has 2 other murder cases in 2 other states. But what we do have here is the genius of Jay Carney in representing him, and Whitey himself. Whitey says he has 3 goals here. He wants to tell his story and show he was not a government informant, and he wants to show that he did not murder 2 innocent women. Those are very important to him, and that may be his vindication.
John, what makes him interesting?
What makes him interesting is he is one of those rare characters, Charlie, that is as much like the gangsters we know from the movies, but he operated that way in real life.
Will he testify?
He will.
For sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
This is his show.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's the conundrum.
And the cockiness that he thinks he can sway the jury.
Well, it's cockiness, but it's also Machiavellian. Whitey Bulger is a guy who demonstrates, by the very nature of his story, he was fooling the mob, he was fooling the FBI, that he's a guy who thinks around 3 different corners.
He used to read war books all the time. He would literally walk the beach, sit down in South Boston, and take out his books on war. And what he is a supreme strategist. So I think that this is a time where in Boston they're expecting hundreds of people to line up to get into this trial every day. And it is the stuff in books and movies. We know that there have been so many that have been, and there'll be a movie to come.
And he's got a great attorney, a defense attorney. You mentioned the name Jay Carney.
Jay Carney is a terrific defense attorney, no relation to Jay Carney in Washington, and, by the way, a wonderful prosecutor.
So the FBI is on trial too, John.
They are, and I mean, I think the conundrum, and this is the question that I put to Rikki, is if your goal is to prove you weren't an FBI informant, and your subplot is to prove I had immunity for everything I did from the government, how can you prove both?
Because
it's one or the other, no?
It seems it should be one or the other, but no, it's not. Because in Whitey's mind, he did not inform on his friends. He only told the government things about his enemies. So it's a twist in what the definition is. It's like what is.
All right. John Miller and Rikki Kleeman, great to see both of you. Thank you very much.